Hello everyone! Today I'm going to tell you a story about my friend's great-grandfather. His name was Newt Scamander. He was a wizard, so I will represent him with this wand. He was a magizoologist, and one time he traveled to the United States in order to relocate a thunderbird named Frank that he had rescued. While traveling, he used a suitcase that kept his magical creatures safe and hidden from non-magical people. In particular, it contained a creature called a niffler who likes to steal shiny objects. Now, you may be asking, Gavin, what the heck does this have to do with genetics? Well, we can represent the story using a developmental network. We can then look to see how different components influence each other and then alter the events of the story by mutating parts of the network. So, in the story so far, Frank activates Newt to go to New York, which in turn activates Newt to use his suitcase. The suitcase represses the niffler from stealing shiny objects by keeping it contained. When the niffler is not contained, it is activated to steal shiny objects. And this is what the complete developmental network looks like. As the story continues, the suitcase was mistakenly opened, which made it inactive. As a result, many creatures escaped. This caused lots of chaos, but the niffler was particularly troublesome because it was stealing lots of gold and other shiny objects. This is an example of a single mutation in the developmental network because the suitcase was the only element changed. An example of a double mutation would be if both Frank the Thunderbird and the niffler were not present. For example, if Newt had never found them. If Newt had never found Frank, there would be no reason for him to travel to New York and use a suitcase. That said, the niffler is also absent, so no shiny things would be stolen, even though the suitcase is not activated. The relationship between the suitcase and the niffler is similar to the relationship between acetylation of the FLC gene and flowering in Arabidopsis plants. When the FLC gene is acetylated, it is turned on and suppresses flowering. If the FLC gene is not acetylated, flowering can occur. When the suitcase is closed and active, the niffler is suppressed and cannot steal shiny objects. If the suitcase is open and inactive, the niffler is no longer suppressed and can steal shiny objects. I hope that this story helped you better understand developmental networks. Here are my references, and thank you for watching.